run, rabbit, run, rabbit, run.
Hey, Celia.
Hey, Caroline.
Welcome back to a Yap.
That's right.
We switched places
That's true.
to mix things up.
And I changed my hair
She changed her hair,
to switch things up.
and I froze half my face
To change things up.
to change things up. No, I went to a dentist appointment today, and I got half my mouth numbed. But the only thing that I think is kind of concerning is I think it numbed like half my face too.
Sometimes I put it in a little too deep.
Yeah, it's like when they were doing it, like my eye kept twitching, and I was like,
You're like, uh-oh.
is everything like? Do you feel okay? And I was like, I think so.
You're like, I think you guys did something
I think
kind
you
of...
shot it up a little too
Yeah,
high.
man, went a little too in there.
Yeah. But so if my voice is a little bit more lazy today, I apologize. But that's okay because it's a yapping episode.
That's right, casual.
And we're just here to chat.
Fun and light.
We've covered 5 girls so far.
So many.
And so we just kind of want to rehash it, as we do.
We always do.
It's our break week.
Yeah.
Some of you don't listen to this episode.
It's okay. You're
We don't
missing
blame
out,
you.
though.
We don't really try on these episodes.
There's a certain bit of magic.
It's a little bit more like all the girls sitting around a couch together.
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
like, oh my God, my friend's FaceTiming me.
Yeah,
What
it's
does she have to say?
It's like book club.
Exactly.
So, let's do it. So, 5 girls down, 3 to go of the OG 8. Celia,
Yes.
as an American Girl virgin.
It's tough, but correct.
How are you feeling?
You know, I can't believe how many books there are. Good. I like them. They're fun. It's funny that I didn't get into them as a kid.
It is. I'm surprised so I pitched the podcast to Celia, obviously, because I've read them. And I had assumed that she would have read them too. So I was surprised when you said you hadn't read any of them.
Yeah.
Or that you had Julie. You may have read Julie, right?
I think I've literally only read her first book.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Because I got her and her base doll.
do you feel like these are Celia-coded children's books?
I feel like I would have liked them. I'm guessing now I had American Girl dolls, but I feel like they were at the end of my like truly playing with dolls phase.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I got my first American Girl doll a little too late into the game, and I had already been girl given a DS.
Yeah.
So I had already kind of
An iPad kid.
yeah, but the cooler kind.
The DS kid.
Yeah, I'd become a gamer. So I feel like had DS not been in picture and I'd gotten Girl younger, they would have been Celia coded.
I also think from talking to people, a lot of people I don't think they don't know about the books, but they know about the dolls first.
Yeah.
Because we've asked some people, we're like, oh, we have an American Girl podcast. And they're like, oh, well, I couldn't afford the dolls growing up. And I'm like, well, we're not
That's not
covering
what
the
it's
dolls.
about.
We're covering the girls.
It's different.
Library guys. But yeah, so
Which is where all our rips are from, basically.
Yeah, you can tell.
Yeah. I love to see a stamp of a local. Support your library, guys.
Yeah, support your local lib.
Make sure they get their funding.
Yeah, especially nowadays. But yeah, so you're enjoying the books. You're enjoying the history.
Yeah.
History for kids.
I will say, and our next episode is Josefina,
Josefina.
book 1.
Meet Josefina.
Meet her.
Hola, Josefina.
I am increasingly, I will say, I think my adult attention span wanes a little when some of these books are a little more vibe.
Mm-hmm.
That is my takeaway from the next book. It's a lot of vibe.
Yeah.
It has a lot of cultural things to cover, which is interesting. But the book being almost a 1-to-1 of the peek into the past information.
Yes.
It's kind of insane.
I do feel like, and we'll get into it, but I
Yeah.
do feel like for Josefina, they did have to set up a world more.
Yes.
You know?
Um,
Because it's not even she's not even technically an American girl. She's a
No,
Mexican
that's
girl.
right.
It's not
and
America.
and she's very cute. So anyway, we'll table her. I bring her up though because Valerie Tripp also wrote her books.
Valerie sucks.
And I think like I loved Addy. We mutually
loved Addy.
love Addy.
I
Her
actually,
Her books are the best written.
yes.
And I think that's the only downside to all the girls being written by not all different authors because no offense, Valerie Tripp. I do think some of the girls' stories suffer because of having the same author. Like I do think Molly's series is worse
Yeah.
than Felicity, so it feels insane that they are written the same.
I know. I think it's one of those things that's like, and I probably would feel similarly, like, you like certain periods of history more. You know,
That
maybe
too, for
Valerie,
sure.
and Valerie also had help of Colonial Williamsburg.
Yeah,
And like not to get too into Josefina because she's not in this yapping,
that's right.
but
Hers too had all the cultural.
yeah, and it had a Las Golondrinas, which I'm going to go into more, but it's basically a Colonial Williamsburg in New Mexico
Oh, cool.
as on the advisory board.
Yeah.
So, and obviously there's no like World War II town reenactment because it was so neat.
That would be tough.
It was only 40 years before Molly was written, so
It feels increasingly curious that Molly is in our original stretch of girls because she feels, and we talked about it, so similar to our current time
yeah.
that I think
It's
you know-
surprising that Felicity wasn't an original girl.
Yes, that's what I say. My backtracking feelings on Molly are I think she is still not one of my favorites, but I think she had a harder hill to climb than the girls who are set within a historical, like a true,
A really cozy historical time
what
period.
feels like historical to
Yeah.
us too, right? Like Colonial Williamsburg feels like that's history, and World War II feels like that was not that long. We have people in our lives who were alive when that happened.
Oh yeah, I mean this came out in like Molly came out like 1987 or
Right.
something. It's like your grandpa was
So
like
modern.
Molly.
Yeah, even more modern, right. So anyway, I like the girls' books. I think I would have liked them if I had been given a doll sooner in my life. I think I would have read all of them had I known. Because like when I was younger, did you ever read this is so different than these books, but similar length, the like fairies series, but they were all different things. Like there's like a gemstone fairies and there's like a weather fairies book.
No, but you made me think of something else, and so go tell me more.
No, anyway, there's like a shitload of them though. There was like 6 books per every type of fairy, and then the last book would always be like, first of all, the coolest fairy, and second of all the fairies would kind of like team up together against like these goblins. Anyway, I say that because I was the type of kid though where my parents would get mad at me and just basically bring me to the bookstore to sit down and read them because I would read the like 65-page book super quickly.
Yeah.
And then my parents were like, well, we're not going to buy you like the next fairy
We're
book. Like,
hemorrhaging
we're
books.
just, yeah, we're going to
Yeah.
either go to the library or like you'll get 6 of them for your birthday or for Christmas.
So my fairy books
Yeah.
were. Did you ever read the Jewel Princesses?
No.
You would have loved the Jewel
See?
Princesses. It was like 4 or 5 sisters, and they all had their own kingdom, but they all represented like a different stone. So there's the Ruby Princess, there's the Emerald Princess, Diamond Princess, Sapphire Princess. I think it was those 4.
I do like that.
And each one had like a different realm. Like the Diamond Princess was in like a snow town, and the Emerald Princess was like in the woods, and the Sapphire Princess was in like Rivendell, and then I think like the Ruby Princess was like in like a volcano, and they all had their own like,
Yeah.
basically their parents gave them like their own little kingdom to watch over for them. They were so good.
Okay, I'm going to be Googling this later.
Yeah, Emerald Princess was my favorite because she was woodsy
That sounds right.
and she's kind of like tomboyish. I hated the Diamond Princess. I thought she was a snooty brat.
Oh no.
But yeah, no, I get what you mean. We can cover the Jewel Princesses next if you
Guys,
guys.
what children's books did you really like?
Yeah, actually, what was a offhand series or like a random series that no one knows about that you were like, this is my thing. It can't be Magic Treehouse because we all read those.
So my real magnum opus was the Warrior Cat books, but we don't have enough time to get in this.
There was a girl in my middle school who was obsessed with the Warrior Cat books,
Who wasn't?
but she was weird.
Yeah.
You know?
Here's the thing. You have to be on a little bit the weird girl pipeline to enjoy the Warrior Cat books.
She would read them for all of her like we had whatchamacallit, like voluntary book club or like
silent reading.
no, it was like they like you were supposed to read a book of your own. Like they would give you a subject or like a topic theme and then you read a book of your own, then we'd all present the book in class.
Oh, cute.
And she would always choose Warrior Cats, even if, like didn't fit in
Cool.
to like the thing.
No, I get it.
And she was being like mercilessly bullied by the guys in our grade because kids are cool. And the teacher, like I think 1 because she wasn't following the prompt, but 2 for her own good was like can't.
No more.
I'm gonna bleep her name out.
Yeah.
But like you can't keep doing
No more cats.
the Warrior Cat books.
That's so funny.
Yeah, it was tough. And I was like, why is she doing this? Like, I don't care about these cats.
That's so funny, but she is my hero.
So, like, it was cat warriors.
Well,
Like-
so there were different clans.
Uh-huh.
And each of the clans had like different like capabilities. So
Okay,
like River
cool.
Clan, they could all swim. Thunder Clan, they were good fighters. Shadow Clan, they were like sneaky and they would like beat the shit out of each other and like would murder. And Wind Clan, they were just really fast and then they would meet at a big tree every full moon. But then as the series goes on, there's like heaven and hell, and then like those spirit cats come to like
The
Earth
Heaviside
to
layer.
fight. Yeah, but it's even more tense. It's called Star Clan ooh, the Dark Forest is where you go, which is cat hell. And the clan leaders all get literally 9 lives. They're gifted to them by 9 important cats in cat heaven. I'm not kidding. Those books are they were, you know what? Kids did make fun of them. But the thing is that's crazy about boys who tease girls about reading was those books like literally had like cat murder and pretty graphic descriptions of like ripping other cats' throats out and stuff. But it was like a kid's book series.
Do you feel like people, like cat people versus dog people, do you feel like cat people are like more obsessive in a different way? Like, I think dog people are like,
There was a dog series, but it wasn't as good.
that's what I mean. So I think
There's
like,
also a bear series by the same people
That's
called
interesting.
Seekers.
that's kind of cool.
It also wasn't as good.
I just think like, I think dog people are like obsessed with their dog.
I do
And,
think that's
like,
true.
I think they're more like in the moment obsessed. Like, I'll bring my dog to this place. I'll do this. We're doing things for my dog in a dog way. Whereas I think cat people are more obsessed with like the concept of cats.
I think that's true. I also think like no diss to dogs. I feel like the reason like the Warrior Cat books worked is because like I think there is a lot more intrigue and a lot more like visible feral cat colonies and things like that. Versus, I know that there are feral dogs, but how often do you see like a feral dog versus like when we were driving back from like Galveston, we saw cats, trash cats, and my cat's a trash cat, and they're everywhere. The cat distribution system. So I also feel like cat lore in like society makes it easier to make lots of cat media versus I think like dog stories are very often about like a human and their owner, right? Like Marley and Me or like Old Yeller or Where the Redfern
They're all
Grows.
terribly sad.
They're all terribly sad, but it is so about that emotional bond. Yes, I do think it's cats, and then cats are like a gateway drug to like cat paraphernalia.
Yeah.
And then dogs, I feel like it's like dog, my dog.
My dog.
My dog.
My dog.
Yeah.
Like, much like horse girls, much like our Felicity. Which brings me to my next question.
Yeah.
What is your current ranking of the girls?
Am I going off of their books or am I going off of them? Because I feel like my answers would be different.
Them.
Okay. Felicity's still number 1. Then I would put Addy number 2. But this is the only switch. If we're just going off their books, I would flip them.
Yeah.
Because I really genuinely enjoyed reading
Addy's
all
books.
of Addy's
Yeah,
books.
I agree with that.
Felicity's books still had a couple slog points.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, let me ask. Okay. So
Felicity, Addy.
Then I think I'd put Samantha. Then I think I would put. This is tough.
Yeah.
It just goes downhill from there.
You have Kirsten and Molly.
I know. I almost said Molly, and then I think I would put Molly over Kirsten. And
Really?
Kirsten last. In terms, yeah, I think my heart soul has changed on Molly, but barely. And as we've moved further and further away from Kirsten, she still has the highest shock value point, I think, other than the literal slavery in Addy's books. In the goofy shock value. But as we move further and further away from Kirsten, I think less and less of her, other than the parallels in the Addy book.
Yeah, I will. I think I agree with your ranking in terms of like girls.
Girls, yes.
And also your ranking in terms of books.
Yes.
Addy books so far have been the most well written.
Oh, yeah.
I actually reached out to Addy's author on LinkedIn.
I love that.
And I was like, hey,
Hey,
Just wanted to say you liked your book.
We love you.
But I think I like Kirsten rather than Molly.
That's fair.
I think I like Kirsten because I remember like when I was a kid, her doll was like retired. And so she had like an aura of like mystery about her.
That's fair.
And so when I finally got my little mitts on the Kirsten books, I was like, yes.
She's
this
for
is
me.
cool. And I loved her hair loopies.
Yeah.
And
She's pretty cute.
And I do think there's something funny about her inner monologues in the book because it does feel like it is kind of like in a silo.
Yeah.
And it's not meant to be funny, but it does endear me to her. When
That's
she's
fair.
like, John Stewart smiled at me. Maybe he's my friend.
Beloved friend.
She says a
Finally, I've made one.
Yeah, and she is a pure of heart, whereas Molly is rotted to the core.
That's true.
You know?
But I do like her last book a lot.
You just like the little outfit.
Yeah, but I also like that she's like trying to be a big girl.
Yeah.
I like the stuff she
And
does with
curling
her
her
hair.
hair.
I know. It was cute. She tried.
She did try.
It was all for naught, though.
And I guess this is my next question is kind of like related. And you kind of said it a little bit, but has your love of Felicity changed now that you've read Addy? And do we think, which I think we talked about a little bit already, but just kind of reiterating, that they should rewrite some of the Felicity books like they did the Kirsten Learns a Lesson?
So, reading Addy's books didn't change my love of Felicity. I think reading her books, though, because they're so well written, has made me feel actually firmer in, I think that the book should be rewritten, Felicity's, but I think it should just be to be more
Self-aware.
upfront about that, like, Felicity knows what a slave is, use the terminology correctly. I think there was too much walking around the like fact that slavery was there, and like even just a clarifying line in whatever books of like, hey, are some of their like slaves, or are some of them like like you call them servants, so are they freed and working in your household? Or I think clarification would do the Felicity books a world of good, because it still wouldn't excuse that, like, they are slave owners, grandfather lives on a plantation, but I think being more upfront about the historical context would help those books make more sense.
I agree, because I don't think there's anything like wrong with being honest about history and saying that, like, look, they are a Virginia family in the 1700s that are well off and have a business. More than likely they would own a slave or two. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with acknowledging that part of history because it happened. It's what it is. At the time, it wasn't like it was seen as normal, unfortunately. Like, there's no good in that, but it was seen as normal. I do agree that I think the fatal flaw comes from, like, whitewashing it or pretending that it's not as bad as it is. And I think we kind of use the defense, which I still agree with, that, like, Felicity doesn't really acknowledge it because it's not anything significant to her, for better or for worse. But even, like, I mean, I even think if they wanted to put something in the beginning of the books, like, for some of the older Disney movies, they do, like, for Peter Pan, they have the whole, like, horrible What Makes the Red Man Red song.
Yes.
And they have a few other things, and I know Disney has since put, like,
yeah, there's the disclaimers
like
at
an
the
epigraph
start.
at the beginning that says, like, some of the cultural portrayals seen in this movie are from a different time period and, like, antiquated and do not reflect, like, the current state. I think having something up front in the Felicity books being, like, slavery is, like, just kind of, like, an acknowledgement of, like, this is in no way, like, this is a bad thing. And I think, honestly, if they, like, dove more into the peeks into the past instead, because they also kind of, like, half-assed the peeks into the past a little bit in a way that I think was a little bit
It was a little here's what it would be like. And also, like, the slaves would have this happen too, but like, worse because they were slaves. Anyway, at the end. But I do think, like, I think it would also be a disservice to, like, a true, like, narrative like Addy's if you, like, rewrite the books to be more accommodating of it. Because then it is, like, at that point, it's like, well, you're not telling, like, a full story. So I think, yeah, I think it's okay to be more reflective of history. I think they could just write them slightly more delicately.
I agree.
Slightly more specific.
And speaking of that, which of the books felt most realistic to you, and why was it Addy?
I mean, you've already said it. I think her books are the best written.
Yeah.
I think her books are the most moving. I will say, not to belay my feelings of or reveal them rather for Josefina, but she feels like she might feel like a very
real girl.
little girl
Yeah.
as well,
Yeah.
which is exciting. Yeah, I mean, I guess if the other books feel like fantasy more,
Yeah.
not fantasy, that's a little disingenuous.
A little glossy.
Feel like fiction.
Yeah.
Whereas I think we talked about when we read Addy, but like when I had my like slavery unit in school, Addy's books felt a lot more like the, like narrative fiction or like the first person like dictation accounts of like young women or men who had like escaped slavery and then grown up. Like, she just feels the most real because I feel like her story was pretty small and contained. Like, there was a through line too about like family reunification, and like she has a lot of unhappy moments.
Yeah.
She's the girl who feels the most real because she has the most kind of ups and downs, which feel more reflective of life to me.
No, I think what I really enjoyed about the Addy books, or like enjoyed with an asterisk, is that like I think especially in Changes for Addy, like I even think like I guess the best example is like Sarah. Like that Sarah's family couldn't afford to keep her in school and she had to like work full time as like a 9-year-old, 10-year-old. And the book didn't end like we talked about in her episode with Sarah being like, "We made enough money. I can go back to school now."
It's all good.
Yeah. And I just think there's like I think one thing I really appreciated with Connie Porter's books is that she did like we've talked about this ad infinitum in the Addy, but she added enough levity, but I don't think she ever like pretended that things were easy or that like freedom meant that everything was happy go lucky easy, especially in that time period. And I think that created a level of like realism to the books that like sometimes the American Girl doll books, especially a Changes book, ends magically.
Yeah.
It's like Kirsten burns down her whole house, but they find enough
Furs.
to buy an even bigger, nicer house. Like, that's sweet. That's cute. Samantha finagles herself an entire family, sneaks 3 kids out of an orphanage.
And everything's
like,
fine.
Her aunt and uncle are like, well, we'll just adopt them. You know, Molly's dad comes home from the war, which is not like a miracle, but like,
no,
it's a
but
nice
like
ending.
perfectly right at the end. Bow
Yeah.
on top.
And then like, and I guess Felicity didn't have anything like super crazy happen in hers.
No, hers was more like, and then a bunch of stuff is gonna happen that we don't have time to get to yet.
Yeah, and I mean, she did have her grandpa die, and like, so hers was a little bit less, it was a more muted changes too, I think. But Addie's changes wasn't happy, and I think that's kind of like changes doesn't have to be happy, and so I think that's kind of why it felt like a little more realistic to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, how many times have you cried while we've recapped these books?
This could sound crazy, because I'll cry at other media. I've been crying at Superman edits like basically all week. That's something else. I don't think I've actually cried at all. I've gotten like a misty.
Yeah, your eyes glistened when we were covering changes for Addie. Well, I
Yeah.
was actually crying.
Yeah. They made me emotional. They've definitely wisped me up a little. But I don't think I've actually cried at all. How many times do you think you've cried?
I've cried. I cried in Changes for Molly when her dad came home.
Yeah.
But that was more like a misting. I cried when Felicity's grandpa died and she talked to her mom about death. I actually cried for that. Then I misted for Meet Addy. And actually I don't think I cried in Addy Learns a Lesson.
That's true. That one's not super.
I think I may have like teared
Emotional.
up, like talking about her family and stuff. And I did cry in Addy's surprise because
Yeah,
her dad came home.
That one's valid.
I cried basically. Let's just say all the Addy books.
Yeah.
And then I recently cried in Meet Josefina, so I've cried 8 times.
It's a lot of cry.
Yeah, no, I've cried 9 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I'm just like a woman who has feelings. Like it's just sometimes hard to like. I'm an empath. No, I just have like an issue. I think when I'm like consuming media, where I like viscerally put myself in the situation, and like for example, I can't watch Zootopia again, because of the scene where the little fox goes to Cub Scouts and they're all mean to him. And they put a muzzle on him
Yeah.
because it made me so upset. Because, like, I thought about how, like, he got, like, dressed that day and, like, put on a little outfit and was, like, excited to meet friends. And, like, his mom was like, this is a good thing for him. And then they, like, were so mean to him. And it, like, hurts my I think about it sometimes and I'm like, oh. So this is the way
Yeah.
I cry. I don't really cry that much in real life.
Interesting.
Yeah. Just only in books and media.
Like
And a beautiful song.
Maybe it's an outlet where you can feel
I think it
the
is.
sweet release.
I think I bottle up things sometimes, and so it's like,
Okay.
You can talk to. I'll pin that for my
I
therapist.
cry a lot about other things, but in my full life, I feel like the only reason I don't fully cry in these, I also feel like you probably have a little bit more of a heart attachment, not to any specific girl, too, but like I think that they were also. There's probably like a nostalgia too, I think, attached to it.
Yeah.
I think it's easier for me to get through them by being like, that's sad.
Yeah.
And then being like misty.
I do remember when I was sad in the books when I was a kid.
Yeah. So I think you kind of have like a double hitter
Yeah.
in there too.
Yeah, I think so too. But all right, my next question for you. What would you change about the book structures? Like, would you remove learns a lesson or replace it with something else? Because we have said that we feel like sometimes there's a filler book in between. Like, would you do a different type of story or like?
Yeah. I think we've talked about this before. For me, it's more that I wish for some of the girls, it just was the season. Like meet and then spring, summer, fall, winter, back to the start again. And then like the birthday. I'm interested to see with Josefina because the first book makes sense. It's a meat book. I started to read Learns a Lesson, but I haven't finished it yet. But I'm already kind of feeling like it's a little bit more of a deeper than a school lesson type of lesson book.
Which we love.
Which we do love. So sometimes I think it's funny to call the Learns a Lessons like a school story. Yeah. When I think ultimately, like even Addy is going to school. But like we said, there's two meanings kind of there. And like Felicity's Learns a Lesson is also really about a deeper thing. She is also not totally in like
that's what
school.
I was gonna say is, and they do end up changing it, especially with Kaya, where I think they're just like,
we can't do that.
We can't keep the structure up. But like, they do end up having enough girls of enough diverse backgrounds, which like credit to the brand that like the original structure they put up, like, yeah, Felicity doesn't really go to school. She goes to like a woman's like manners academy.
Yeah.
And then I haven't started Josefina yet, and as a side note, I realized I actually haven't read any Josefinas.
That's exciting.
Because I was like, what the hell is happening here?
Yeah.
I don't think hers is going to be because they said that she and her sisters can't read in the first book.
Yeah.
So I don't think she's like in school.
It's I think the next Josefina Learns a Lesson is gonna make you cry.
Good.
I want to just tell you that outright. I think that you can turn the counter up to 10.
But like, would you keep Saves the Day?
I like the concept of the Saves the Day. I think for me, the focus would need to be narrowed a little bit more into truly being like
a Saves the Day.
Are they saving the day in a meaningful way to the book?
I wish they would like include a question mark on the ones that are a little bit
more ambiguous. Yeah, I agree. It'd be cheeky.
Like they should let us know
about it. Otherwise, I don't know. I kind of think the books are a year-ish in the girl's life, so I think that they could have just been seasons.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they do 6 books for the girls anymore.
No, I don't know.
I think you guys can correct us, but I think it's more just the girl, their book, and then like 1 or 2 others, kind of like in world.
Yeah,
is the sense that I get.
Okay.
I think Julie and like those 4 girls that came after her, Caroline and Cecile and
Claudie
and
Rebecca.
Yeah, I think they all have like 4 to 5 books.
Oh, okay.
I think Julie's
they're longer though, I think.
And I'm pretty sure like Julie's books are different. Like Julie has like Meet Julie, but her other ones are a little different.
I think they'll have Meet and then they change the structure.
Yeah,
I think Kyle let them loose on the structure.
So for our next yap, it might be interesting. Yeah, we can bring that to that. But yeah, I guess my only thing is I think that with the girls who are maybe more unique historically, I feel like, and we know that they do it with Kaya, but I would have just changed it to like the seasons because all
Yeah,
the
it could
girls
have been
have
easier,
seasons.
I think. But that's probably a hindsight thing a little bit too.
100%.
You know?
Yeah.
I agree. All right, so whose mom is the best?
Mom.
Yeah. Who's top mom?
I guess I feel like Addy's mom.
Yeah. You think Ruth?
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately for all the moms, they are all pretty much like archetypal mom.
Yeah. I do like Molly's mom.
Molly's mom's a good mom.
She's
Molly's
got good
mom's
fits, too.
working.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was slaying the
Yeah.
house down. She's like the most like modern woman.
Yeah.
As in she has like a job that she goes to and has like a nanny to take care of her kids.
I still want that bread that the
nanny like made.
Yeah, the like cinnamon bread made in a like can.
Yeah. Not me, but
you don't want like cinnamon. Oh, it was like raisin bread. Sorry.
I was like, no.
I love cinnamon raisin bread.
I love back when it didn't make me sick.
Yeah.
I loved like a nut bread, like a little cinnamony nut bread.
Like a banana bread.
I'll still eat a cinnamon roll around Christmas. Just
a treat.
Just to feel something.
I think Samantha's mom's the worst because she's dead. So she's just not helping.
I guess you know what? Maybe my one little advocate flag would be, what about Kirsten's mom? Kirsten's mom has to do a lot of shit.
Yeah.
And her dad literally just fucking leaves.
Yeah.
To go off to the wood mill.
No, his name's not Lars. Their brother's
And she has another baby.
Yeah.
And she's got to feed whatever teacher they're housing at the time.
Yeah. And she doesn't speak English.
She doesn't speak English. And she probably can't read or write.
No.
Not, well, at least English.
Justice for Miss Larson.
Yeah. I feel like she maybe had it the hardest, which wasn't your question, but
no, but she was a good mom because she's the one who stood up for Kirsten when she was crying, and Papa was like, "Enough, there,
let her have her tears."
Yeah, good line from Mama.
Great line.
Yeah, beautiful blonde, tall Swedish woman.
Yeah,
I mean, I think all the moms are nice.
The moms are good moms.
There's no bad mom. I mean, it's like so the mom is like the supposed to be like, girl, I teach you.
I think they're all good foils to their daughters. But I guess I mean, maybe I would I think I would have a little recency bias.
Yeah.
But I think Addy's mom, actually, my only beef with Addy's mom is what we already said last episode. Which
when they curve her.
Yeah, like let her have her tears.
Yeah.
Please.
Instead of be strong, girl.
Yeah.
Stop that.
So I guess we can give participation ribbons to all the moms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. All right. Now my last question for this
Yes, ma'am.
Back to Kirsten and Addy, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Now that we've wrapped and had time to think, why do you feel that Kirsten and Addy have some curious parallels? Like, that was kind of a delight for us reading them, was to kind of see that they had some, weird, unexpected parallels between the two. Without being similar books, you know?
I think there is something to be said for the parallels between, early immigrants in our country who came here willingly as looking at it as a start for new life, and the slavery parallel in which enslaved people didn't come here willingly, and then when freedom in its many complicated nuances, as we talked about, came along and then opened up these doors, there is a lot of similarity, I think, in those stories when you look at them, which is motorcycle, which is okay, I'm starting with basically no money or currency in this world. I'm starting at a disadvantage language-wise, because potentially, maybe I can speak I can speak English.
Well, it's like reading and writing,
reading and writing, a communication core and key. I'm coming in at a disadvantaged place where there might be prejudice or racism against me, depending on where you're from and what neighborhood you're in and where you're going. So I feel like they're similar because although Kirsten's books don't deal with racism in any way, I think there are a lot of parallels in the start. Yeah, being an other and this true starting over. Kirsten's family has basically the clothing on their back, the trunk in their trunk.
Not even trunk for a while.
And not even trunk for a while. and like the ramshackle like room that they're given by other people. Like
Yeah,
when their
that's
house
true.
burns down, they are like, we don't have a home.
Yeah.
Like maybe we can go live with the aunt and the uncle again.
For a little bit, yeah, but it's too many
But
people.
even then, that's
yeah.
too many people, too many mouths to feed, too many people to take care of. So I do think, like, interestingly, although Addy has different things because of like having an enslaved background and being like a young black girl, I think her and Kirsten have a lot more closeness because of being another.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think I think the parallels are basically tied to like prejudice kind of, and just like the difficulty of being in a new place without the like roadmap of how to exist in that new place, you know. And we didn't get into it, like I think Kirsten benefits from being in a prairie situation where she doesn't have like I think Kirsten might be a different story if they'd stayed in New York and there were a lot more people around with a lot more opinions, you know? Like, and Addy might have had a different story if they'd like moved up to just in Maryland and like gotten a plot of land, like, and done something with it. Like, that leads to sharecropping, which is a whole other thing. But
Terrible
like it could have
problem.
like I think like the insulation of Kirsten's world is where like the parallels diverge a little bit. But it's kind of interesting to think about like you said, even when we were reading it, like when Addy and Mom first come to Philly, you're like, oh, I thought we were gonna get another like lost chapter. And yeah, I think like Kirsten can't speak English, Addy can speak English, but it's also similar parallel with like Addy and her family can speak English, but they can't read signs.
Right.
You know, so
They
have
can't
to learn
write
how to do that.
letters.
So they're at a disadvantage with that. So I do think there's kind of like I was delighted kind of by that parallel because until Addy came along, Kirsten did kind of feel like a like one-off like specific experience. So I think it's cool they show these kind of different experiences.
Yeah. Well, again, right? The whole thing about like American girls through history.
Yeah.
And that like maybe they aren't so different.
Maybe they're not so different from us.
Yeah.
Maybe the girls everywhere. I think in the beginning of the Josefina book, actually, they had a new excerpt that was kind of like girls, like history may be different, but like friendship, family, like hopes and dreams are always the same. I think that's what we see.
It's a good bit of sentimentality.
Yeah. Anything you want to add before we close out a yap?
Just get ready for a new girl.
Yeah, guys, Josefina.
New girl and
Old author.
new girl, old author, new experiences, old writing style.
And Celia is going to learn how to say Spanish words to reflect her Cuban heritage.
Yeah, the problem is that I really can't roll R's. Yeah, I don't no.
Okay.
There's an explicit note I have in the outline about one of the words I have to say that
which one is it?
The second part of the Camino.
Real?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can't make that noise
Okay.
with my mouth.
I'll do all that because I
Great.
speak Spanish.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So get ready.
You can say real.
Real?
Yeah.
I can do
Because
that.
it doesn't have, it's a double R if it has it's a r if it's 2 R's only.
Well, when I was looking up like YouTube pronunciation guides and I was trying to like follow the way it was saying
Yeah,
it,
but that's like just being a little extra. You
I
can be
was
like
like,
real.
I can't do all
You can do
that.
it real, but it's a little bit, who cares, you know?
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening to another yapping episode.
Love
we'll be
ya.
back next week with the newest girl.
That's right.
Celia's turn to lead the convo.
Josefina.
Meet Josefina in New Mexico.
That's right.
We don't know exactly where, but
Meet her, we will.
and we shall.
Bye.